Hello, guys. We're gonna have a look at this interview because I really want to, check this out. I followed Salaman and I followed James and Ash, over the years, and I've been following Salaman for over a year now. And actually, I do attend the X Spaces with Salaman and Khaleesi, as well as people like Omar, and also you've had Patrick Henderson that's been in there as well, and also there's been other great interviews that Sulaiman has done. I mean, but I want to have a look. At what's going on here and more than anything. So let's have a little thing, shall we?
So, what Israel are doing are replying to an attack on their country. Okay, that's it. End of story. Everybody going out saying it's genocide. Let me tell you, in a real war, a lot more innocent people, in a small area like that, I think they're being fairly careful.
Well, it's the lowest on record, actually.
There is no doubt in my mind that both sides can't stand each other. So what I'm asking you is how do you get round that? How do you make people who will probably vote for Hamas again, an organization who walked into a town and killed everybody? I know some people don't believe it, but I'm sure if you're a journalist, you will have seen some of the horrific footage that I've seen.
I've seen the videos. I do think that what happened on October the 7th is very much different to what's been stated in the mainstream media.
Really?
Yeah. So like,
why? You tell me why.
Okay. So
what was the worst thing that you think happened to them?
So I'll go through all of it. So for example, when it comes to babies being killed, like not only were there was no beheaded babies, 0 babies were killed by Hamas. The one baby that was killed was Mila Cohen in Kibbutz Berry, and that was killed by Israel. And that was killed by Israel.
Were there any rapes?
There was so from.
That's interesting. These two looks here, you can see his eyes there. It's like, no. We need to do the narrative what our Zionist masters have told us. And Zionism is a political thing, guys. You know what I mean? Because in the 19th century, we got the Christian Zionists, and in Swansea, we've had the Zionism and going on for years, which has been undermining, Britain for a long time. And also, there was a reverend as well. So we need to actually look into how Zionism has been playing a major role on trying to control the West on many levels and stuff like that. Because these two look like you can't say this, you can't say that. Like typical mainstream media, and they'll watch. I got a funny feeling they are gonna like American media and all that. They look like they're about to attack. It's like you can't say that. You're threatening our paycheck, sort of look.
The evidence. One second. From the evidence that we have,
the UN just came out and said there was.
So the UN.
That's rude reporting right there. He's trying to answer while he's interrupting. No, let him finish. That's a proper debate. You wait for him to finish and then you ask.
Said that they weren't able to speak to somebody who had a first account rape. So
and don't forget, he's Jewish, by the way, guys. So, I mean, of course, he's going to try and interrupt all the time. So then he's on a defensive all the time. When someone's on a defensive, you're not going to get the full facts out and so forth. So then they're going to rush and sound crazy. And these two know that. They know it. It's a game the mainstream media always play. Always try to get you on the defensive instead of going, instead of just asking the question and then you just answer. And then they're asking questions based on your answers. But they've already got an agenda beforehand. I can see it in their eyes.
Again, Israel, unfortunately.
Do you not think there was any rapes? Do you think they went and put them in a nice,
No, so what I
see the girl on the truck that was spitting on them?
I'll answer your question.
I've actually seen that video on the truck, and to be honest, she wasn't dead. Despite the mainstream media and all of that was saying, "Oh, she's dead" and all that. Yeah, I mean, Sulaiman's right. She was in hospital, and then later on, she died later. So it wasn't Hamas; it was something else. But anyway.
So what I think is there is 0 evidence for rape. That doesn't mean no rape happened.
Did you see the girl on the truck?
Will you be quiet just a
minute?
hold
on. Did you see the girl on the truck who was dead and all twisted?
Well,
and they all
she wasn't dead.
on
You're talking about Shani. So Shani
she wasn't
went
dead.
back.
Her limbs were all twisted all around, and
her limbs were twisted,
and a bullet hole in the back of her head.
There wasn't a bullet hole, but she wasn't dead.
And they were spitting on her.
Hold on a minute. Yeah, I mean, I might pull that video up, but not tonight because it'll take some time to dig it back up. But I think we should look at that video one day, and because these two are playing on the ignorance, and there's a hell of a lot of ignorant people in this comment section right here, and I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? It needs to be said. The ignorance is huge because the mainstream media relies on the masses not to go and check for themselves, not to research for themselves. And I was part of the campaign with Sulaiman and Khaleesi. I was one of the people in the comment sections and listening and so forth. There was loads of us. There was over like thousands of us that were researching and putting the information out and so forth. I mean, Sulaiman and Khaleesi will not know who I am, but I know who they are. But we all contributed for getting the hashtags out and so forth, and also to give a platform to to speak for the Palestinians and stuff like that. Despite I mean, because and there's so many levels of where when they say about all these underground tunnels and this that and so forth, there's bombs in schools and all that. Yeah, I mean, it's just Israel's way of saying, we want to bomb the shit out of you, and we just want to kill women and children and all that because we want your land, because we are the occupiers. Because what Gaza is a prison, like Ilan Pape wrote, the biggest prison on earth, sort of thing, and also the ethnic cleansing of Palestine. So, and yet, these two should be actually saying, why is Gaza a prison of Israel? I mean, once you go on that, once you realize people are actually inside a prison, how can they leave when they're being imprisoned and when they're being told to leave and not so forth? They're being shot dead. That that's not freedom. That's a dictatorship. To be killed.
Ash, just a minute. Just a minute.
We have to be accurate,
right? I can't do this. What do you think happened?
I think she was murdered. I don't know if she was right.
What's the difference now? He's sitting there patiently waiting for his answer.
Dead, and they were.
Do you think they were
alive?
Of course,
they're in hospital. So how does that work?
Do you think there were?
She was dead on the train.
No, it's despite he started coming in towards the end of his sentence. I mean, James Will said, "What do you think?" Yeah, we know what side he's on, and so forth. Doesn't matter. These two don't care about the evidence. And so forth. They just going along with the narrative. That's all they're going on. They get their paycheck. They don't care if people die. These two wouldn't give a shit. If Israel killed people in Britain. Oh wait, there was an American in the West who went to Israel, Rachel Corey, and the Israelis killed her. What would Ash think of that? That American went out there and she got killed out in from visiting Palestine by the Israelis. Anyway.
She was not dead. Shani was not dead. She was in a hospital.
There's a bullet hole in the back of her head.
There was no bullet hole because she was alive.
I have tried at the beginning to have a sensible discussion.
See, he doesn't like the answers coming out here, despite there's thousands and more of us that have looked at the evidence, and it goes against the narrative, because the narrative, end of the day, wants to roll out a ethnic cleansing, a genocide, and to get further into the Middle East and steal oil while murdering women, and babies and men out there of Christian and Muslim faith, and including the Jewish faith as well as others. If you're not on the Benjamin Netanyahu wagon, the Zionist wagon, and all that and so forth, you're dead. Doesn't matter where you come from. So this Islamic thing, where people are going, it's all Islam and so forth. No, there's a great reset happening, and everything else. The way of Palestine will be the way of the world. So if Palestine gets destroyed, I'm already seeing, by the Zionists in the UK, with prices and everything's going up and so forth as well, and we could look at other groups as well, like the Freemasons and all that, if we wanted to really go down that route. It's a lot more than saying, it's Islam. But who's pulling the levers in our country? Stammer, who's also linked to Zionism, who's also mentioned before he got elected, he's part of Davos and everything. So these people by here are part of the same agenda group that are not letting Sulaiman properly speak, because if they let him properly speak, he then could lay out the facts and evidence. And I'm surprised they didn't ask Sulaiman to bring the evidence, because if because at the end of the day, if he brought the evidence, the videos, the articles, and all that, it would shut down J.Whale and Ash and the thing, and the public would see that the mainstream media is no more than a whore for the agenda of ethnic cleansing and much, much more.
You have, I agree.
He's Jewish.
Yeah.
You're Muslim.
Yeah. You saw the girl
I'm
on the back of
sensible. So I would like to try and get between the two.
And that's a thing there, guys. Do you notice that? He's saying it's Jewish, Muslim, there's a divide. Religion, right? It's stupid, and yet he's going, I'm sensible because I don't follow these two, like, and all of that. So, and we have got a Satanism agenda going on right now. So that means, we have seen for years where they try to get the people to move away from God, to be immoral, so they can go out there and kill people and stuff like that. So there has always been that agenda in the mainstream media to make people immoral and ethical on many different levels.
I agree, yeah, 100%.
And you're not, well, you can agree all you like, but you're talking rubbish.
No, I'm talking accurate.
You're not talking accurate. How do you think, you've never been there, how do you think?
Well, his co-host, Sulaiman's co-host, Khaleesi, has. So he knows people. Watch how quick they come in before Sulaiman can respond.
You know more than the people. You cannot.
Well,
and the thing is, he's starting to speak now. Watch this.
It's about.
See, he's already cut in, and yet, if you let Sulaiman speak, Sulaiman and Khaleesi, the reason I know this because I've listened to the shows. They have people from Palestine speaking out. Actually down on the ground there, speaking out. And people like Max Egan has got a friend in Palestine speaking out. That's how we know.
Investigating the information, doesn't it?
I don't think you really believe what you're saying, do you? Really?
Stop it about Shani as an example. She was alive a few days later. So
see, his eyes are looking down, and these two don't care. People live or die, to be honest. Because they haven't let him properly speak. Because when he properly speaks, these two know if he properly speaks, he will wipe the floor with these two. That's why they're attacking and jumping in. So.
But that's inaccurate in terms of saying that.
Where is she now? I've never seen.
No, she died a few days later.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she did.
Yeah,
in hospital.
That's very convenient for you.
No, it's not convenient for me. It's just accurate. It's just
Stop smiling. This is a serious situation.
No, one second. I'm
I
not
want
smiling.
to know.
I'm literally stating that the information that you're stating is.
So it was all right then. Just
that's smiling. It's probably not smiling because of what's happening out there. That grimace or so is probably like, well, these two are not even letting me, get the points across because they're working with an agenda. Not to let people speak. We see it years in, doesn't matter if it's, 9/11, 7/7, Palestine, fracking, smart meters, chips inside your hand, which Sweden has got with over 10,000 people. All this sort of stuff. Every time people who do research and so forth, and then, and there's experts and whistleblowers and all that try to speak out and so forth beforehand, you get the mainstream attacking, and because they are attack dogs for the deep state and all that, and also for their cult members. And then years later, when the damage is done, then the mainstream speaks, and it's watered down, twisted with lies, and then the public are always being retarded because they think they know what's going on because they read the fucking newspapers and watch the TV instead of going out there and checking it for themselves. And that's why, a lot of people in the UK are fucking dumbed down idiots. Despite there's a percentage of us that's actually looked into it, and we know what's bloody going on. And also we've got personal experience on the system attacking us left, right, and centre. And that's why we look into why the system has been so damn criminal, so damn fake towards the public, and why it will always suppress the public and not go after those in the hierarchy of the system to arrest them, because the police are actually the puppets, the hellhounds of the system itself, and also for the Zionist masters.
Sitting on it. You say she was alive with the bullet hole and all twisted around.
She didn't have a bullet hole.
All right,
But
but it was all right what they were doing then.
No,
Just
it wasn't.
all
No, I'm
spitting
explaining
on
to you. So by the way, I'm not someone who agrees with Hamas. I analyze things. There's certain things.
Oh, funny how he should say spitting for decades and more. The lot of Jewish people that have spat on the Christians and all that. So yeah, there's videos of that. People are going to check out on BitChute and so forth. But anyway.
I disagree with what Hamas did. I'll give you an example of something I disagree with, just to demonstrate to you that I'm not just someone who's supporting Hamas or support Israel. So, for example, one point that I disagree with Hamas is that they took babies hostage. I think that it goes against war ethics, it goes against the principles of monotheism and various other things. But then at the same time, equally, I disagree with Israel and the number of babies and children is killed, beheaded, murdered, and burnt.
Oh,
so
they
those
beheading
are examples.
babies?
Oh, you think that Israel did that?
Yeah, there's significant footage demonstrating that.
There's significant footage.
Yeah, the reason why they don't want to believe that, because Freemasons and also the pact that was done, the Balfour Declaration and all of that. You know what I mean? This and also what we've seen out there with the Nakba and all that, they do not want people to go looking at. So they try their best to just like try to shut down Sulaiman and all that without people going and check all this stuff out for themselves. Despite Britain was part of sending these people out, and despite the Palestinians welcomed the new people to the land, and what happened? The Palestinians got shafted left, right, and centre. So since 1948 onwards and all that, I mean, the Palestinians have been shafted. Around about that time.
Israelis beheading babies.
No, babies being beheaded. So they didn't actually behead. It was literally like when they were
that's
bombing.
war.
And they on about the babies from that time. I mean, it's sad when babies get killed and all so forth, but I know that the story about the babies and all that it's false. And on top of that, what about the numerous of children from Palestine, right? The Palestinian children themselves, who end up in Israeli jails for many decades. Defending themselves from tanks that have been and from the IDF that have been killing the children of Palestine for years. And on top of that, you've got Christian Palestinians and you've got Muslim Palestinians, and as well as other things going on out there. So the IDF don't give a shit where you're from. They just kill you dead.
Or isn't it? War does. I mean, have you got the? I haven't seen this footage actually, but
yeah,
I mean,
it's widely available on social media, because the thing is, mainstream media is unfortunately
on social media.
Yeah. What do you think about Hamas not allowing the citizens in the tunnels to protect themselves and using them as human shields and using hospitals and selling the aid?
They may mock and say social media. Well, if social media was that bad, then why do we have in ITV News, BBC News, Sky News, and all of them using social media themselves? So, yeah, again, mainstream media are being hypocrites themselves. They mock social media, but yet at the same time they use social media themselves. So these fuckers better stop being hypocrites, because they use social media themselves.
The markets and all.
So again, this is like something that is being claimed and research.
I've seen the videos of it.
Well, what, you've not seen no videos of someone being used?
All right,
seen videos of Israel using human
What
shields.
about the woman that was dragged out the back of the truck and then shoved in, and she had blood on her trousers?
Right. So yeah, what about?
Was she just sitting in a bit of blood that happened to be there, or what?
No, so first of all, she wasn't sitting on a bit of blood, and she was not raped. This is the point. So look,
you know that? You know that?
No, I'm
you know all the
based on
facts.
evidence. No, I'll explain to you.
Oh, on
so,
evidence. You don't know that. You just claim she wasn't raped.
So the webcams were all on.
Actually, they just just like throwing it out there. Well, yeah, I mean, the group and all of that. I mean, when that story was happening, I know at least 20 people, not by name, but 20 people in our research group went out and checked all the sources, from Western media to Middle East, and also other journalists from other countries that were checking it. So basically, and I also sat in as well on an IDF conference myself, which which on social media you can do on X. You know what I mean? So This is why when you hear people like J.Whale and Ash mocking social media, they haven't got a clue, so forth, unless they do, and they don't want the public to go and have a look. But I remember sitting in on an IDF meeting myself, because I'm a freelance journalist. I investigate myself as well. I go and investigate all this stuff. And you can actually go and sit in on the IDF meetings and stuff like that. So the evidence is actually out there, guys, for the public to go and look for themselves. But they are hoping by shutting down Sulaiman, you will have this reinforced thing in your head, like, oh, I don't have to go and look to see what's going on. And the evidence is actually there, guys, and I've actually the articles and the documentations as well as the videos as well. That came out, as it was happening from October 7th to now. And don't forget, the attacks on the Palestinians have been happening way before October 7th. They've been happening for over 60 odd years and more. So for these to be all up in arms with October 7th, because, and the thing is as well, why would you have a party outside Gaza anyway? That's like mocking the people behind a prison. Because Gaza is a prison. And that's what Israelis do every day. They mock the people behind the prison. But they don't want to talk about that now, do they?
Why is there no evidence of rape?
So you're saying she wasn't right then?
Right. Can we both of you stop now? Listen. I've invited you in tonight.
Yeah.
The whole situation in the world, I'm glad I'm not going to be here for much longer. The whole situation in the world at the moment is in an appalling state. And until we get human beings, like you two
Well,
are so
but you're making out there's a moral equivalency with Hamas and Israel.
There's no moral equivalency, but I'm not going on one side or the other. I'm trying to find an answer to the troubles. Hamas are a terrorist organization. Israel is not.
Wrong. The mainstream media are using Hamas as a terrorist organization, but yet, why is there then all the children then being targeted to be killed off and murdered and so forth? You know what I mean?
A terrorist country. They're defending themselves and responding, but you don't believe that.
Yeah, I believe Israel is a terrorist country. Yeah,
you do.
Yeah.
You think Israel is a terrorist country. You think Israel shouldn't exist.
No, I believe Israel should exist.
You think it should exist?
You're a Zionist.
I just told you that I
See, typical trick there. Ash tried to call Sulaiman a Zionist, and because they know people in the Palestine group have been exposing the Zionists. That was a dirty trick there by Ash.
Believe that all man should be different. I just don't agree with Israel's apartheid policies where they treat.
What about the apartheid around the rest of the Arab world,
Muslims,
all around it, which they don't have in Israel?
And they're abusing.
Well, a lot of the in Middle East and also, but they've got sock puppets which America has propped up and so forth. So you got that as well going on.
They get into the parliament. They get in the parliament. There was an Arab Israeli former Israeli president in prison. They rise to the highest levels. They become doctors. The Israeli Arabs.
In the UK, I have equal right to you. Me and you are the same. It doesn't matter if I'm black or brown or you're white. It doesn't matter. When you have a situation in Israel, for example, let's take the right to return.
You're talking about Gaza.
I wish Ash would be quiet because, if you look at J.Whale, when someone said, it doesn't matter if you're brown or so forth or white, so forth, we're equal in the UK, but out in Middle East, when you got Palestine and Israel, if I went out there, a Brit and so forth, I just happened to go into Palestine, just to see somebody and so forth, I could get arrested, and without any trial or anything like that, or so forth, or any proper trial and so forth, I would be condemned without even walking into the courtroom, and I would be killed. So, but if an Israeli went into an Israeli court, they get benefit of the doubt and everything. Yeah, by us.
As someone who is someone can
Gaza's not Israel.
Can we stop this? Because I want to know how that's your view of Israel. Other people wouldn't agree with it.
And
That's
Gaza
your
isn't
view.
Israel. It's
Just
not
a
the same
minute.
country.
No. So how do we bring peace to the Middle East when a number of countries in the Middle East are getting on well with Israel? They don't want this trouble. I believe that Hamas started it because they wanted the response that they've now got, so they can try.
That's a lie. 1948, right to the present day, Britain and I mean Germany and all that, who sent the people that we got there now in Israel, the Zionists and all that and so forth. And also you got a lot of pedophiles going towards Israel. Mustn't forget that. A lot of pedophiles go to Israel for protection. But we mustn't forget that, and yet they want to put it all down on October the 7th and all that and so forth, which also the mainstream media are lying about that on many different fronts. But they know the masses and all that will just ignore it because it's not their children yet. And there's an agenda coming, not coming, it's being played out now, that the Zionists are actually attacking the UK and the US children right now. And yet most of the public in the West, in the UK and the US, don't even know it.
And
destroy the Abraham Accords.
Israel.
Yeah.
So, and they were worried about the other countries. And it looks like Iran
Saudis.
and Iraq and maybe
I obviously
some
don't
Saudis.
agree that Hamas started unless you think the world started on October the 7th, which you don't, right?
Well, of course it didn't. But this is the latest.
If you look at,
The
for
war did.
example, Al-Shifa Hospital, I had Dr. Mads Gilbert on my show. He literally explained how, again, Israel was bombing.
Yeah, I listened to that show,
And killing them in 2009.
Do you not think that
What, with the
people...
terrorists were in
Just
the
a minute.
hospital
Do you
with
not think
tunnels
that
under there?
people...
2009, and even before
They were there
2005.
then,
Ash,
Even before 2005.
do you not think that people...
See how Ash is trying to put the narrative in and get people to think? Sneaky, very sneaky. And it's really the IDF that have been going to Palestine and so forth, and basically planting to make it look like it's Hamas when it's actually IDF lying through their fucking teeth.
People like you who go on social media spread this sort of thing. You're the ones causing the idiots to demonstrate in the streets who are saying, let me ask you, I'd call them idiots because they don't understand
the vast
history.
majority of the West are not idiots. The vast majority of people
No,
are
they
with
are.
Palestine.
Not the
They're
people
against
are.
the genocide.
The vast majority
The
of
vast
people
majority
are...
Ooh, watch out. With Ash, go back. I spot that a mile off. Watch Ash now.
Not all.
Watch him realise he fucked up and then he had to pull back. Watch.
Let me ask you, I'd call them idiots because they don't understand
the
the
vast
history.
majority of the West are not idiots. The vast majority of people
No,
are
they
with
are.
Palestine.
Not the
They're
people.
See, he mucked up and then he had to...
against the genocide.
The vast majority of people are not.
The only people who are for Israel is either Zionists or people who are paid by Zionists.
You think, well, I'm not. Either way, I don't even know what it means. But I think anybody who walks through the city of the capital city of this country calling "kill the Jews" or "from the river to the sea."
Why were there no Syria against the Syrian or
So
the
kill
Uyghur
Jews,
Muslims?
I agree with anyone saying that is wrong. In terms of from the river to the sea, that again is a call for freedom.
Why don't you
Palestine.
protest?
The Likud charter, which is Netanyahu's charter, actually says from the river to the sea, they want the entire land.
Right, okay.
They said they don't want a two-state solution. They don't want a one-state solution. They want a zero-state solution.
They don't even know what they're talking about.
What about the Syrian murders that are happening all the
He called
time?
the Palestinians
Just a minute.
Amalek.
You're avoiding
He
that.
called the
Just a
Palestinians
minute.
Amalek, which
Will
means
you-
they want to
oh,
kill
you're
the
gonna
men,
have to go.
women, children, and babies.
You're not answering the question.
Can you? There's been. I'm just hearing a breaking news. Been an arrest at the march today, apparently for a suspicion of terror offences. A pro-Palestinian has been arrested on suspicion of. You saw that?
Yeah, it's a white gentleman, and he
What's it got to
basically
do
said.
with the colour of the skin?
No, I'm explaining because.
Oh.
Now you're being
Skin-
racist.
No, skin doesn't matter.
Well, it mattered then.
No,
Well, why did you mention it?
I'll mention it because people are manipulating the public into thinking that this is an ethnic
You
march.
are manipulating
I'm explaining
the public.
to the public that the vast
you're
majority of Brits, whether they're white or brown, are against
Let me ask you this.
genocide. And
Queers,
That's not
queers
true.
for Palestine.
Not true. You made that up.
So if queers,
You made
will
that up.
you
That's
look?
accurate.
I can't do the show if he
Well, I
keeps
can't
on like
challenge
this.
him if he says most people
You don't
say
need
it's
to
a
challenge him
genocide.
till I tell you when you can.
Well, it's
So-
gone then. It's gone.
Queers for Palestine.
Yeah.
If they went to Palestine or Gaza,
Yeah.
would they be allowed to walk the streets and talk about being gay?
So when you're talking about homosexuality,
Well, to be honest, I mean, the Zionists, which is not Jews, because you got Christian Zionists and all that. Zionism is a political thing and all that. You can have atheists and so on and so forth within it. It's funny then, they're on about gays and all that and so forth, when Benjamin Netanyahu and his cronies and his masters, would happily kill gays and lesbians and all that left, right, and centre. Because the agenda is to see the public as goyim, see the whole world as goyim. If you're not a their version of a Jew, then you will be killed. And there's videos of a young boy going up to Palestinian family and all that, going up to ours. And basically saying we own this land and all, we killed Jesus, we did this, we did that, we have the right to steal from you and murder you and all of that and so forth. And yet they don't bring that up.
first of all, Islam has the least is the least strict when it comes to homosexuality.
You're
when
joking.
it is. Judaism actually asks for killing of homosexuals. In Islam, it literally is. It is wrong. It is a sin. Don't get me wrong.
Ash,
I mean,
your
it
response.
doesn't. I mean, obviously in Israel they have gay pride marches.
No, but I'm talking
I
about
don't see-
Judaism. I'm talking about
Well, let's
Judaism.
talk about the actual on the ground.
So there is a difference. So what
no,
I'm-
it's not in Jewish law now. They change the laws as it goes
No,
on,
no,
maybe
it's-
thousands of
it's-
years.
Yeah, I've noticed that as well. And the thing is as well, which Israel and a lot of people, but Jews and a lot of people love to say is you're anti-Semitic. But then we look at what are Palestinians, Semites. So if they go around calling myself and others anti-Semites for talking about this sort of stuff, then if you're killing then a Palestinian and so forth, then can we then say you're anti-Semitic against the Palestinians for murdering and killing them? Yes, we can. So it works both ways.
literally in the Torah and it's in the Talmud.
Yeah, but it changes. It develops
It's not.
Jewish
Torah
law
doesn't
because
develop on
there's a Talmud, there's
It's a
other
text,
things.
It never changes. So
Yeah,
my
it
point
does, it
is,
does.
when
Honestly, I know
I'm not
more
disagreeing
about
it.
Judaism
in
than
Islam,
you do.
homosexuality is considered a
Right,
sin.
yeah, just
but
ignore that, yeah.
Judaism is
What
actually
is
much
wrong
stricter.
with you lot?
Well, Ash says just ignore that, but these two have been deflecting and trying not to listen to any points Solomon's making, because if he went in depth into his points, this reminds me like the Monty Python film sort of thing, where you see John Cleese getting attacked and that and so forth and everything. He may look silly, but then later on, when you start reflecting on what's really happening here, why are they so worried and keep interrupting him all the time? Ask that question. Why are they keep interrupting Sulaiman all the time, not letting him? I've seen this done with other people, with professors when they talk about 9/11 and and scientists that have come out and what do you call them? Architects and all of that and so forth have come out in that subject alone without looking into other things and so forth. So where the mainstream media just shuts you down and doesn't and just berates you and stuff like that, instead of saying, because if this is proper calm debate, they'll basically Ash would have to shut the fuck up when James Whale is asking this question. And then once James Whale asks his question, he would have to shut the fuck up while Sulaiman answers the question fully. And then when Sulaiman has finished, then he's got to sit there and wait for the question to be asked again, or listen to how Ash replies. Now that's how it should have been done, but this wasn't done like that. This was orchestrated just to attack Sulaiman.
This is why I hate religion.
You're making a moral equivalency.
Because you
doing a moral
talk such
equivalency.
rubbish. What might have happened thousands of years ago when society was different? Fine. Why on earth would any religion,
Well, most
and the
religions,
Christian
Judaism
religion as
doesn't
well,
believe that.
doesn't like
That's
it.
not true. Nor
But
does
I don't-
Christianity. It used to, but
Can
it's
we not
changed. Whereas it
talk
hasn't
all
changed,
over
has it?
me?
In certain.
I
You're
can't
not being
stand
accurate.
this.
But anyway,
Well, I
I'll
am
read
being
that
accurate.
question. Sounds interesting.
I want to know why. I want to know why two people of the same sex is.
No, that's the same thing we see all the time on the social medias. the Zionists and all of them were always trying to bring it down to religion and all of that and so forth. You know, Sulaiman, like, nah, I'm not going down that route. I'm only here to talk about what actually about the events and all that. And yet, them two, but them, Ash and J.Whale, wasn't letting him just talk about the events and talk about the evidence. Because when someone's bringing up the evidence, normally he breaks it down and goes into it. They didn't allow him to do that. Why? That's the question we ask. Why didn't they allow Sulaiman to break down what really went on and so forth, and talk about the evidence properly? Yeah, I mean, this cowboy, you know, interviews and all that the mainstream media always does. It's fucking mind rot bullshit. You know what I mean? So
such a problem for religion. It's a problem, then you say, for Jewish religion. It's a problem for Christianity.
It's also execution
Will you
in Christianity,
shut up?
though. You get
I've
executed in
just said
Christianity.
that. Are you not
Well, it's
listening?
not true, is it?
It's a problem for all religions. I'm sorry about him.
No, it's no problem. I'm interested in your
It's
question.
not a problem for all religions.
It is a problem for all religions. They don't behave the way that extreme Islam does at the moment by hanging people or throwing them off roofs.
So this is not a position. Look, this is not a position in Islam. So there are extremists within Islam who may do what you said.
Like Hamas.
But within there are extremists within Islam that may do what you
Like
said.
Hamas.
Well, there's no evidence that Hamas have done that.
Well, there is plenty of evidence. Plenty of evidence.
But let me just answer this question, right? So there are extremists, just like Zionism is an extremist version, but that's come out of Judaism. But at the same time, when you come at Islam, when it comes to homosexuality, the punishment for it is the same as doing public heterosexuality.
Could you do a show like you do now, back in Gaza?
The show that I'm doing now, yes, I could.
Could I? Could I actually talk against Islam on the air? Talk against...
Actually, he could. He actually could if Israel wasn't bombing the fuck out of Gaza.
Christianity, talk against Judaism.
Look, this is the problem we have throughout the world. In Israel, many people have been arrested just for speaking against the ceasefire. Israelis have been sacked.
Up, don't you? Everything you say is just made up.
It's not. It's true. You need to research it.
It's true. It's true. Yeah.
I agree with you.
So if
actually, what Salman is saying is true, because it's funny now in Britain, we cannot pray without getting arrested now because of the flipping Zionists. And it's funny how we can talk about anybody else, the Germans, the Welsh, the English, the Scottish, the Americans, the Canadians, the Argentinians, the Uruguay, all the countries in Africa from Uganda all the way to, and to South Africa, to Madagascar, and all that, over to Australia, New Zealand, Japan, upward, into China, Hong Kong, Singapore, anywhere else, but we cannot talk about or be critical of Israel and the Jews. Ask yourself why.
But I agree with you. I'm against policing. Right. I'm against a police state, and I'm concerned that this country that I love and value is becoming a police state.
Let me ask you this question. Let me ask you this, because I'm getting fed up in this country, that is my country, that is predominantly, it's a European country, and now we are losing all the sort of what made this country great is slipping away. And I am concerned now that people are going to get crosser and crosser and crosser. You think the majority of people support Hamas and all this. I can assure you they don't. Right. There should be
You think they believe it's been a genocide?
There should. Will you shut up for a minute? There should be a homeland for Palestinian people as well. It should be a homeland for everyone. But let's move on from that.
There is a homeland for Palestine. It's called Palestine. Israel wasn't around in 1935 and all of that. You know what I mean? And plus, if one look in the history before, in between World War I and World War II, before the whole, and the thing, it's a Holocaust thing, guys, started coming around in the 60s, around about then. It wasn't during the World Wars. It started coming around later on as part of an agenda to get their feet in and then start controlling landscapes and stuff like that, and to shut people down who speak out and criticize Israel and the Jews and all of that. But anyway, between the First World War and the Second World War, in the newspapers before the Second World War went on, there's already talks about 6 million Jews being killed and all that and so forth before the Second World War. So then what? And because people wasn't taking to it and stuff like that, once the Second World War came about and all of that, and then I mean, despite millions of people died, not just Jews, no, but Russians, Americans, no, and don't forget you had the Japanese in American concentration camps run, but as well. Plus, after the Second World War as well, the German people were sent to concentration camps in the millions for many years to come after that. So, but we don't talk about that, but when we criticize then the Jews and all that and so forth, like they criticize us, actually they condemn us on many levels. Apart from, yes, we can talk about the Orthodox who speak out against Zionism and all that, but the Orthodox Jews, I mean, they speak out against Zionism and stuff like that. But at the same time, I mean, if any one of us speaks out, and we don't want to be killed and all that and so forth, and then it's a Jew doing it, they call us anti-Semitic because we don't want to die. But this is why a lot of us now have taken the word anti-Semitic and just kicked it in the bin and say, "Hey, go fuck yourself." Because it doesn't have the same weight with some of us like it used to have. Because now we've learned that the Palestinians are also Semites, and plus where the term anti-Semite actually came from, and plus the Rothschilds helped to set up Israel as well. So it wasn't set up by God and all that. God gave the land. It was actually people that gave the land to Israel and all that, to the people of Israel and stuff like that. So God didn't physically come down and use your land. People read a scripture in a book and then took a bit of land, called it Israel, and now it's fucking over, and now it's set up people.
I was a Muslim, and I said on my program, I'm not being one anymore. I'm not following any religion.
Yeah.
I'd be locked up and probably executed.
So, again, when it comes to apostasy laws, you have that in every religion. You have that in Christianity, Judaism.
Yeah, but they don't enact it, though,
any
do they?
law that you...
Actually, they do. You got Christians, for example. I mean, I'm going to say it because people will assume I'm Christian, which I am. But I would admit there's been extremists within Christianity that would, in history, and it's still in some cases today, where, especially when you look at females in the past and so forth. If look at the Catholics and all that, and how they would treat people under their care, sometimes children, and in some cases, there's a documentary and an interview out there where a lady talks about when she was young and so forth, and the nuns were taking care of her, that the nuns would slam the lid of the piano on her fingers and stuff like that. Plus, you would also look into, they were on about gays, about Islam and all that. We also have Christian extremists that would go after gays and kill them. So, all sides have got the extremists. Doesn't mean everybody in that is. You can take the Catholics, right? Yes, those who do the research and all that knows the Pope is a Jesuit. Also knows the popes and all that and so forth are actually Satanists. But does that make everybody who follow the Catholic Church Satanists? No. This is how stupid, these people like J.Whale and Ash think the public are. You gotta look at it for what it is and so forth. Because the way the mainstream get away with things, the establishment get away because everyone tries to tar people with the same brush to everyone in that group and so forth. You can't do that. You gotta look at it as an individual case and so forth and everything else.
Find problematic in Islam, I guarantee you, the punishment is much more harsher.
Which Christian countries execute the gay people?
We're talking about Islam.
America. You've had a few people in America from the Christian sites that have, killed gays and stuff like that. Plus, maybe in some levels in Britain, and don't forget, Britain through Christianity and so forth went around burning people who they thought were witches. Think about it. So, it's easy for a lot of these idiots and morons, to just go, oh, it's Islam and that. Well, we've got a history that goes round through religion, through Christianity and all this and so forth, of burning witches and all that and stuff like that. So
I'm doing a show.
Yeah.
I've held up my hot cross bun,
Yeah.
right? If I did that and I took the mick out of Islam,
Yeah.
we'd have people demonstrating outside, wouldn't we?
Well, you'd have them. No. If I was to do the same thing about Judaism, you'd have the same thing. Actually, the only religion
They wouldn't have to
you're
go into
probably allowed
hiding
to do
for
that
2
about.
years.
You absolutely wouldn't.
The only religion you're probably allowed to do it about.
yeah, you would have if we criticize. I've noticed it and experienced it myself. If you criticize Judaism and you talk about the Torah and you talk about the protocols of Zionism and all of that, and I say protocols of Zion and everything else and so forth, you get attacked left, right, and center. You have an army coming at you. So yeah, you would actually.
Fortunately, it's Christianity. But yeah, Judaism and Islam.
But there's a guy hiding.
hang
A
on,
teacher
why-
in Batley.
There
What
would
about
be
the
claims of
teacher in Batley?
anti-Semitism.
Yeah.
If that
Why?
happened to Judaism.
I'm not talking about anti-Semitism. I'm talking about why some people, not all people,
Yeah.
I've
No, it's that end, but the anti-Semitism thing there. Yeah.
got friends who follow the Muslim tradition, whatever. But some of them, not friends, but some of the people who follow Muslim traditions can't take a joke, can't have the Mickey taken out
Look
of
at the
their
teacher in
religion.
Batley.
Well, that's some of the Brits today, actually. Some of the younger Brits can't take a joke.
Judaism.
What about the teacher in Batley?
There are
Forget
people for sure. I
Judaism.
agree with you, but I'm trying to demonstrate that some people, irrespective of what religion it is, are very strict and firm about their religion.
Well, then
And-
they can
and-
go and live somewhere else. Why would you want to live in a country like this?
But
Well, on that note, then, right, we got a lot of Christians in this country, are proud Christians and so forth. Therefore, the way he's coming across it, and the way he's saying that Abrahamic faith shouldn't be in Britain. So that means Christianity must also go out of Britain, because Britain isn't really a religious country, despite we have Christianity and so forth. It's actually a secular, and it's also got its roots in paganism. So, come on now.
and
but
complain.
the issue
And
I
so
have-
a teacher
no,
has
so
to go and hide
no, so
away.
The issue I have with
He's
this,
ignoring that.
No, the
He
issue
won't
that I
answer
have in this
about that.
country is
Answer about the teacher in Batley. Let's be specific. Talk about the teacher in Batley.
The issue I have in this country is that
You're
I love
ignoring
this
that, aren't
country.
you?
I love the freedom
Okay,
of
let's
speech we
let him
have,
finish and
the
then ask him about the
Zionist
teacher in
lobby
Batley.
is
See, by them interrupting, they're not letting him finish. They're not even letting him start.
taking
Just
away
let him
all of our
blow out
freedoms
his
and
pot.
arresting
Belt up.
people. So
I'm
this is the
waiting for
problem
him
we
to
have in this
finish.
country. Now, another point you mentioned, something about hostages. Let me just make one point. 'cause I want to make
Batley teacher. Let's
Yeah.
just think Batley. Let's focus on that.
Okay.
What about that? That would never happen to any other religion that they
It would
try.
happen. The exact same thing.
You think the
happened to
Jews would be
Judaism.
down there and they've been hiding for 2 years?
Look what's happened in terms
Million,
of
a quarter
protest.
of a million.
People have been protesting, which is a brilliant right that we have in the United Kingdom, and because of that, people have been trying to criminalize it. So this is the power of the Zionist lobby. They're turning our
It's
country
the Zionists that have
into a
made
police
the
state,
teacher go
and
into
I'm
hiding.
disagreeing against it. I'm saying
Really
I
ridiculous.
want freedom of speech.
Absolute
because
See, Ash can't let Sulaiman speak. This is what a typical Zionist Jew does. And James Whale is loving it. You can tell by his face. You can tell about his mighty more, look. But anyway, yeah. So this is the problem, guys. Anybody who has an alternative to the Zionist agenda, or also we can break it down as well to the ugly agenda, which is the United Grand Lodge of England, who would also be behind and go along with the Zionist agenda, because I tell you why, the Rothschilds, who are also Jews themselves and all that and everything, are actually in bed with the royals and stuff like that, and also own the Bank of England and stuff like that. So anybody then who comes out and speaks out against the system or the Zionism or anything that they have set up are going to be met with agents of the state like Ash and James Whale.
I love the United Kingdom's freedom of
So
speech.
what do you say to those people who've threatened the teacher?
That's wrong.
Is that it?
100%. Anyone who threatens the teacher, I disavow it immediately. I'm telling you, I'm for
But it only
freedom of
happens
speech.
with
No, my point-
Islamist extremists, doesn't
No,
it?
it doesn't. It happens with Judaism as well. It
I haven't
happens
seen-
with-
well,
the
give us
only
one
religion
example
it
of that.
doesn't happen
Give
with
us one
is
example.
I've had
The Nakba.
enough.
Christianity.
I'm not feeling
Now-
good. I've had enough.
one
No,
thing I wanna make about
just a minute.
hostages-
Just a
Yeah,
minute.
sorry,
We'll
right.
talk about that just to finish off.
Yeah.
I want to try
Yeah.
and find out if there is any way to bring peace between religions. There
there
isn't.
is.
There
There is.
isn't.
There is.
So what we should do is say religion is just a man-made thing. It's not, what you believe in is a fine. No, I'm sorry. You can't prove it. You can't prove it.
He's not worried about proof of anything.
Will you
is he?
stop it?
Doesn't
This
worry
is my
about that.
turn.
Doesn't worry about that.
Your religion's the same.
No, it's not. Moral
your
equivalency.
religions are the
You're trying to
same.
do moral
All
equivalency
religion,
again. Yeah,
it's
that's
all,
right,
you
yeah.
can believe whatever you want, but religion, basically, it's all been man-made to control people in the
I
past.
disagree, but what happens
and you're
is,
using
no,
it
in
now
terms of
for
religion,
war.
No, but listen, religion, it doesn't matter if it's religion, it doesn't matter if it's ideology. People have used beliefs. So we have atheists who caused war. There was mass genocide. Look at Mao's China and so on and so forth. So in reality, what you're saying is people use ideology for nefarious purposes. I agree with that. Now, in terms of, I just want to make one point because I want to make it on the show. In terms of what you said, in terms of the ceasefire, I support a permanent ceasefire. So, and I support
all of us do.
all the Israeli hostages to be returned.
Yeah.
As I support all the Palestinian hostages to be returned.
There aren't
the women
Palestinian
who have been
hostages.
raped. The women have been raped in Israeli prisons.
You see,
the children that have been abused.
You
I want
try
all of them
so
returned.
hard to turn it round, which annoys me.
No, it's
Here,
true.
listen.
Wait, what? They've been trying to stop him from. Yeah, I mean, put it this way: Sulaiman does like 8-hour shows and 10-hour shows, right? And he's done 2 hours, 3 hours as well. And for the amount of information that Sulaiman could bring on this, right, for the 4 hours in this 20-minute segment, you've got to bring. And I think it's the key elements would take a little bit of time as well. But for the mainstream media, they like things in like sound bites, like 10 seconds, 30 seconds. No. It's not going to work. If you want a proper discussion, a proper debate, these two fuckers should piss off, J.Whale and Ash, and get someone who's neutral, right? Or then again, have somebody neutral and let Ash and Sulaiman have a flipping debate. And also, when Ash tries to interrupt, you kick him out. Because a true debate, you would let one talk, and while the other stays quiet. Because these debates where you see them over talking one another, that is actually off-putting.
It's been confirmed by
you
independent
can
bodies.
prove women are being raped.
By independent
He
bodies.
makes
Not an
everything up as he
Israeli-
goes along. It's all
there's
absolute
significant amount of
gibberish.
evidence.
There's no
One last
absolutely
question.
no
There's
proof
no
of that.
proof of
He's
that.
making it up.
No, this has been
There
confirmed
is
by
no.
independent
If you
bodies
can
and the
bring,
UN.
Just make
if
it
you
up.
can bring proof, I'd like to see it.
I'll show you
Even
proof right
the
now.
UN
I'll
couldn't.
literally go on my Twitter page.
I
You'll see
ain't
it
got
there.
time, but
One
after, show us in
one
the
last
break.
question.
See, despite he's live and end right now, and he could show the evidence right now, that shows he is prepared. He's got the evidence ready to go. Sulaiman has got the evidence ready to go. And they didn't want it. Because if he showed it live on air for the public to see, the rest of the public would ask questions. He's got it. And yet people in the comment section are so fucking brain dead and stupid, I've noticed, that, they did not pick up on that. When somebody's got the evidence in their pocket on the phone, ready to go, and and if you went on Sulaiman's page, his Twitter page and all that, you would see a series of articles, you would see a series of pictures, videos, you name it, audio, you flipping see it, backing up on what he's saying. And that's why Ash is saying, we'll see that stuff during the break. Because in the break, what happens? We see adverts and stuff like that. And we do not see what he's going to be showing to Ash and J.Whale. If it ever did get shown. Because did they really want to look what he's actually got? You know what I mean? So, yeah.
What do you think? And why didn't people go on the streets and protest so much when Assad murdered over 700,000 Muslims?
Well, he still is doing that.
Or
That's
about
still
the
going on.
jihadis murdering Christians daily in Africa? Why weren't you doing something about this?
So,
Why weren't you doing...
I'll answer it.
Not
so
even once.
First of all, when it comes to Bashar al-Assad, that war I was completely against because what it did was cause destruction in that country. And so that was a Western-backed war. I want our foreign policy to be not to
Why
be
do you
taking
li-
any
So it
war
doesn't matter about the
whatsoever.
hundreds of thousands of Muslims dying. You don't need
No,
to
no.
protest even one day for them.
Why do you...
That is a war. I mean, in the day, that is a war and all that and so forth. Any life that's lost is sad and all that, but also that is a war. And when you think about it, there's a lot of countries going into Africa and all of that, taking the minerals and stuff like that. But what they're talking about here, yeah, it's a lot more than what J.Whale and Ash is trying to depict.
Why do you say if you hate this country so much?
I love this country. What are you talking about?
Well, I
hate
begin
the
to
fact
think
that
you
no,
don't.
Actually, they're picking on Sulaiman so much and everything else, then why ain't they then going to criticize King Charles, who's part of the WEF, with the WEF that is destroying the UK left, right, and centre, with Starmer? And I know Starmer wasn't around when this interview got taken place, but even back then, Starmer, before he became Prime Minister, part of Davos. Why didn't the mainstream media go after Sunak for being a World Economic puppet? I mean, and all of that. Because they all need together to fuck the public over and to bring down the UK.
Wait. I love this country.
So before they say about Sulaiman, why you in this country and all of that, which is a fucking cop out, which J.Whale and these bloody mainstream and these fucking morons do. Why are you in this country then? People who love this country actually investigate what's going on and research what's actually going on. Most people in this country don't care about this country because they've proven so many times they couldn't give a shit about the truth that is out there. They don't even go looking for the truth. And those who don't go looking for the truth don't give two flying fucks what happens to the UK. Somebody like Sulaiman does care about the UK. These two puppets in the fucking middle don't.
I'm against the fact that this country is being turned, unfortunately, by the Zionist lobby into something it's not.
It's being turned, wouldn't you say, into a Muslim country?
A bit like APEC in America. Anyway.
That's effectively because we've had MPs quitting because of Islamist threats.
And I think as well, we can go back to the Miliband brothers, who also are Zionists as well, which I, did bring up and expose many times on my shows in the past. So we've always had, and plus Gordon Brown, and plus also you've got Boris Johnson's dad, who's talked about, I can't even say that, in the video, but because of YouTube, but a certain agenda that we've been going through these last 4 years. Boris Johnson's dad's got a book out there titled on what's been going on in the last 4 to 5 years. But anyway, so yeah. So, and yet they haven't got Sulaiman, trying to say, he's not for the UK now. He's more for the UK than any fucking police officer will ever be.
Parliament changing its constitution because of Islam. There's no Jewish
politicians
threats.
in place.
Ramadan.
Just talk over it, and then you won't be able to be.
Ramadan is being.
Listen to that. Ash just said, just talk over it and all that. Oh, it doesn't work. What the fuck has he been doing then? Hypocrite.
Illegal wars. They've destroyed our ideology in Britain. Britain used to be a Christian country, and they've destroyed it entirely. I'm severely.
No, it's not. Ash is. Sorry, guys. Ash is lying through his teeth right there.
And why are we sort of saying it's fine, Ramadan?
Actually, Britain is actually a satanic country with Zionism and stuff like that. If we were really going to go there, and the thing is as well, you look at St. Paul's Cathedral with its Masonic structures inside and so forth of the Jinka Boaz and all that. But anyway, we can do the architect type thing another day. But let's move on.
Is great. You can't have hot cross buns. There's nobody celebrating Easter.
Totally against it. Yeah, they should be allowed to celebrate Easter. Again, this is another thing that I believe that was again perpetuated by the Zionist lobby to destroy the West.
What is the Zionist lobby?
So the Zionist lobby, for example, in the United States, is AIPAC, and
they use it to get away with being anti-Semitic. It's a clever way of being anti-Semitic, but legal.
What the fuck is Ash on about? That guy's speaking more bollocks than a dog. Well, a pack of dogs.
They use it to get away with being anti-Semitic. It's a clever way of being anti-Semitic, but legal.
See, typical thing there by Ash, because, and I don't want to say it, but I'm gonna fucking say it because he is a Jew and so forth and all of that and everything, right? a typical sect of Jew, I should say. And because the Orthodox Jew would turn around and say, hey, Sulaiman is right. It is the Zionists. It is that. It is going on. An Orthodox Jew. There's even pictures as well. Hold on. That's an idea, actually. I forgot about that. The cable is stuck here. But let me just get the pictures up, guys. Let me get the pictures up. All right, let's do this. Orthodox Jews. Orthodox Jews against Zionism. Ultra-Orthodox Jews and anti-Zionists. Right, here we go. Watch this, guys. Watch this. This is going to piss off J.Whale and Ash when they see this. And what's the article? Look, it's on My Jewish Learning. Right? And what are they holding there? What are they holding there, guys? Is it an Israeli flag or a Israel flag? Then again, Israel flag with the Star of David, they'll call it. Also, somebody's broken it down to the Freemasonic symbol as well. But anyway, we won't go down that route just yet. So, it's a Free Palestine thing. Oh, what does it say underneath? End Israeli occupation. And that's coming from an ultra-Orthodox Jew. And so they would actually back Sulaiman. So, and we got here, well, most Orthodox Jews oppose Zionism in some way. Groups like Nature Carter and some do not recognize the modern state of Israel. The anti-Zionist worldview of ultra-Orthodox groups, the Netori Carter and the Satmar Hasidism, perceives Zionism and the establishment of State Israel as an anti-messianic act, conceived and born from sin. So let's go back to Ash, who's also a Jew. So we've got two Jew points going on here. You got the Ash's view and the article I've shown you, and they oppose each other, if you notice. But anyway, let's move forth.
The UK is, for example, the Friends of Labour, the Friends of Conservatives. They financially fund our politicians.
You mean Jew?
And if they call me anti-Semitic, I just read that article out there, they're going to be calling the Orthodox Jews anti-Semitic. That's going to be interesting, isn't it?
No, I don't. I love Jews. I just said to you, I'm against the Zionists abusing Orthodox Jews.
Yeah, but that's just a code for Jews. It's been going on for about 120 years.
Okay, guys, I've got to take a break. We've been on a lot longer. Sulaiman, thank you very much indeed. But we still didn't get to how we can get peace in the world.
All man is equal. There's not a superiority, not Zionist supremacy. All man is equal.
Listen to Ash then, when someone said all men are equal, and Ash said, what? Oh, you're just making it up. Because the Jewish sect he's from, they call all public, from every walk of life in every country as goyim. And they hate the goyims. So, yeah. So, that's why I had to show you that thing there, guys, from the myjewishlearning.com. Because not all Jews hold the same view, sort of thing. There are some speaking out for Palestine. So, but anyway, guys, that was interesting. And that also shows, there is just that one article I showed you from that, guys, that Ash's viewpoint means fuck all. So. And people can, I'll dig up the thing right here now, guys. How is it? I've actually got this book, guys. There you go. And you can go and get the books as well. The Ethnic Cleansing of Palestine by Ilan Pape. You can also get The Biggest Prison on Earth by... and so on and so on. There's so many other works you can get as well and stuff like that, on the subject and so forth. So when you see these people in the mainstream media, trying to, blame it on Palestine and October 7th, what they're really saying is they want all the Palestinians dead. They want an ethnic cleansing. They want all that sort of stuff. That I mean, and so yeah, do your own vigilant and do diligent research yourselves. I mean, end of the day, they're going a lot with their own narrative. You know what I mean? J.Whale and Ash, it's just like so many hours. You know what I mean? And anybody that says, "Oh, so you were Beauty Alum and all that," you're just like Alex Jones. No, Alex Jones is also a shill. Yeah, I mean, he's going along with the Israeli lobby and all that and so forth on some levels. Despite he puts out a lot of truth, he mixes it up with a lot of lies. And I mean, and how do you pull people towards you? Yeah, I mean, while spinning a lot of lies, you put a bit of truth out to get people hooked, and then poof, and you send them off on the wrong course. You know what I mean? So basically, people have got to do their own homework. Otherwise, you're gonna get fucked left, right, and center. On that note, guys, I'm gonna shoot off now. I've probably been doing this video now for about an hour. Oh, yeah, an hour and 5 minutes. And it's 1:15 in the morning here. And I have got a lot of other work I need to crack on with and stuff like that. So take care, guys. Make sure you have plenty of food, water. Check out the Great Reset. Check out the Agenda 2030. Check out TTIP. Check out Geoengineering. Check out smart meters. Check out nanotechnologies. Check out the graphene stuff. Check out 5G. Check out HARP. Check out the Project Bluebeam. Yeah, there's loads of agendas you guys can check out and keep going and going. Check out about the blue light. Check out about the frequency of 432 and 442 hertz. You know what I mean? So yeah, there's so much stuff you guys, can check out and all that and everything else. There's well over 100 different areas and topics I could bring up right now, guys. But for now, you guys take care, have a good one, and peace, and stay positive. Bye.